I just want to take a moment, just a sacred pause for today, because this weekend is going to be something very beautiful for you. It's Mother's Day. And for some of you, it's a day for you to just unwind, not be a mom, and just be who you want to be. I have a friend who celebrates Mother's Day by herself, and that's her gift from her family, is for her to do whatever she wants to her heart's content. For some of you, you want to be with your family. You want to be reminded of this beautiful role that you have been gifted as a mom. And for others of you, this could be a painful time. Maybe you lost your mom and you can't celebrate Mother's Day with her, or maybe you have had a miscarriage or had lost a child, and having Mother's Day be a reminder of that lost child is painful for you, wherever you may be in this role. I am thinking of you, Mama, and I want to take this time away from the momhood of raising a teen daughter and simply celebrate you. I want to remind you of the beautiful and powerful and really irreplaceable role that you play in your family. And I know that raising a tween and teen girl can be both breathtaking and tiring and exhausting, right? So some days you're celebrated and other days you're just feeling like you're invisible. Do I even really matter? But today I want to shine a light on you, on the gift, this beautiful gift of momhood. So let's talk about 3 powerful reasons why being a mom is such a beautiful thing. And then I'm going to share 5 sweet and simple ideas for how you, Mama, can celebrate your role as a mom, both with your family or, if you're like my friend, just for yourself. And that is okay. If you are frustrated with how to get your teenage daughter to open up to you because all you want is to connect with her as you once did, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Jeannie Baldomero, a former rebellious teen, now mom of 3 young adults, educator, and the mom mentor, equipping you to create open communication with your girl so she can come to you about anything, even if she's scared. So grab your oat milk latte, breathe, and let's do this together. You're listening to this because your heart is breaking from the changes that are happening in your girl that is affecting your connection with her. Your once cuddly, talkative little girl is now growing up, but with the cost of silence, emotional bouts, and you get the short end of the stick. You fear these disconnections and challenges you're facing right now is affecting your relationship with her. And what will the future hold between the two of you? How will you get through this season without losing the closeness you once had and so desperately want? Mama, I want you to know you are not alone. As lonely as it may feel and almost embarrassing to share with even your closest friends about this because you feel like you're failing at connecting with her, this is common. It's a season. However, I know that you don't want to sit idle during this time. So here it is. This is what I want to tell you, that you can do hard things. This is a season of hard, but you will get through it by equipping yourself with the right tools to turn this all around. I invite you to explore what could be possible for you. Head to talktoyourteengirl.com right now. I want you to join me and let's equip you together so that you can relate and reestablish your connection with your girl. That's talktoyourteengirl.com. You know, as a little girl, I've always wanted to be a mom. I knew when I was older, that I was going to have children, that I was looking forward to caring and nurturing and loving on these little beings that I myself was. I think maybe because having my mom by my side just wanted me to be like her as a young child. And my plan, this is my plan as a kid, was to be a mom by 25 years old. My mom had me, and I'm her oldest child, at 27. And so I said, you know what? 25 years old seems like a great age. And it was a little younger than when my mom had me. Well, however, life, career, and marriage happened, and I became pregnant when I was 28. which is a little bit off from my original plan, but that is okay. And I remember I was a teacher at the time, and I was traveling to New York. I had this privilege of attending a special teachers conference to help teach literacy a little bit better. And I'm always about getting better and sharpening my teaching skills. And so I was able to go with a couple of friends to this training in New York, which was amazing. It was my first experience being in New York, by the way. But at the time, I was also 6 months pregnant with my first child. And one of our exercises was writing, right? If we're going to teach our kids how to write, we need to learn and experience what they're going through by writing ourselves. And I remember as a writer, we had this assignment to write a poem about any topic that was on our mind at that time. Well, between me and this piece of paper was my big belly, and I wrote about becoming a mom. And surprisingly, as a young girl's dream of always wanting to be a mom, I was scared. I was scared about messing up. I was scared about what's going to happen when this little baby that's been sitting in my belly comes out. Am I going to be good enough? Am I going to know what to do right away? What do I do if I don't? Am I going to mess my kid up, right, as this mom? And no matter the hard, right, and no matter the fears that come into our hearts or minds, and maybe you can relate to this too, we still love our children, and we love them no less, right? Because that is just something that's innate as a mother that we share. A mother's love is just indescribable. I would say it's not even comparable, but it's very close to the unconditional love that I feel like God has for us. And so, Mama, you probably are feeling the same thing. Maybe you had the fear like I did, the excitement of actually being a mom, but the fear that it's becoming a reality and whether or not you're going to be good enough. And hey, a few years later, you've survived. You are going through the hard. You are raising your children the best way you can, and you're doing an amazing job. And sometimes we lose track of that as we journey along the years of being a mom, how much we so loved or looked forward to being one. And I believe the adolescent years really test us the most in our momhood. It's both fun, yet emotionally exhausting. Our motherly love comes out as fear, frustration, and even insecurity during these formative years of your teenager. So today, as we move into celebrating mothers this weekend on Mother's Day, now, if you are not a part of in the United States, we celebrate Mother's Day. I'm not quite sure if you're listening to this on other parts of the country, but I am sure you have a day where you're celebrating Mother's Day. So I want you to borrow our upcoming Mother's Day so that you can celebrate yourself. I mean, yes, it's an official holiday, but who's to say we can't celebrate being a mom any other time of the year, right? And I'm going to share the reasons why you are just the perfect person for your children and ways we need to celebrate that. Yes, Mama, we need to celebrate you and be okay with celebrating you. Okay, here we go. The 3 reasons momhood is a beautiful gift. 1, you are the emotional anchor of your home. You are. You set the tone. And that is so true. I remember my husband was telling me that, Mama, you're the one that sets a tone for this family. You're the one that when things go astray or things go awry, that you anchor this home. And it's something beautiful I hear from my husband because, when you're in the weeds and rolling up your sleeve and just doing what you need to do, you don't realize your role in the family and how significant it is. And to hear it from my spouse, my husband, was refreshing. And so I want to share that with you, Mama, that you are the anchor. You are the one that grounds the family. Your daughter might not say it now, but your presence is grounding. You're her safe space, the one she runs to or even texts furiously too, when things feel too heavy. Your steady love, even in the chaos, makes your home a refuge. And that's a beautiful thing, okay? The second reason, you shape the legacy of love. Okay, now it's you. You shape the legacy of love. You're not just raising a girl, you're raising a future woman. The way you speak, the way you love, the way you forgive, and the way you rise up again when things are hard teaches her what love and resilience look like. You are imprinting a legacy of faith, strength, and grace, even if she rolls her eyes at you at the dinner table. You're doing it. That is your role. You're leaving a legacy of love, and you're paving the way for your children. And the third reason is you are a living proof that love stretches. Ooh, I hope you can relate to that word, stretch. You've grown and stretched, like physically stretched. I mean, hello. Growing a baby inside this belly. Yes, we're physically stretched and emotionally stretched and spiritually stretched. Because if you're like me, a woman of faith, I have leaned into prayer every single day over my children. And to become the mom of your daughter and what she needs, we do need to stretch. We need to stretch ourselves outside of being comfortable. We need to stretch ourselves and lean into strength that we ourselves cannot, fathom to fill in ourselves. We need to dig deep, right? We're digging deep in order to walk through, help guide, not take things so personally, and continually love unconditionally. Even in the hard, even when it's so difficult to like her in the moment, we still love. And you're still becoming. You are still being refined. Motherhood is the only relationship where your heart lives in someone else's body. I'm going to say that one more time. Motherhood is the only relationship where your heart lives in someone else's body. And that kind of love changes everything. Everything. So mama, I hope you feel good about being a mom in this role, even if at times it doesn't feel so good. That when it comes to this gift of motherhood, you have it. You are part of this sisterhood of being a mom. And here's some ways we need to celebrate that. This is a great reason why we need to celebrate what momhood could do for us as women and what we can do this weekend to celebrate that. Let's make this more than just words. Here are 5 meaningful ways to celebrate your role as mom. And whether it's Mother's Day or just an ordinary Tuesday or Wednesday, I want you to remember, celebrate yourself. Celebrate the fact that you are a mom. One is to create a mom and me moment with each of your children. It could be a coffee date, a hike, or even just a 15-minute snuggle up watching your favorite show. Celebrate being a mom by being with your daughter in a way that says, I see you. I like spending time with you. And you're reminding her that her relationship really does matter to you. Second way to celebrate is write yourself a letter of honor. Oh my gosh, this one's beautiful. In Talk to Your Teen Girl framework, I actually have you write a letter to your younger self. And maybe there are some things that you need to have your younger self forgive or give advice to. But there is something refreshing and rehabilitating when you write a letter. I know this might sound cheesy, but it is powerful. I want you to write a letter to yourself from the perspective of someone who sees all the love and sacrifice that you pour out daily. Let it be a reminder on the hard days of why this works and why you being a mom and putting the work that you do really does matter. Another way you can do that is to write it as an email and schedule it so it sends to you. So when you check your email, you'll find this unexpected letter to yourself as a simple reminder. I have done that in my own business about reminding me why I do what I do to serve moms with young or teen tween girls. And every quarter, I send that letter to myself as a simple reminder of why I do that, why I pour into you. And number 3, start a family mom celebration day tradition. Hey, it's like birthdays, right? Let your family know you're going to start a tradition once a year, maybe your birthday or Mother's Day weekend, where you do something that fills you up and they help plan it. You're modeling healthy self-care and inviting them to honor you and your role. I think that's a great one where you already set the expectation and you're modeling something that, gosh, sometimes we're ashamed of in celebrating ourselves. Like, it's really hard for us to want to celebrate ourselves when that is like the most healthiest thing you can do, is to fill yourself up so that you can go and continue to serve your family. And to have your family be a part of it, what an honor it is to celebrate you. And the 4th way to celebrate being a mom is create a simple gratitude as a mom journal. Oh, I love gratitudes. I always start each day. 5 things I am grateful for. You just heard in the last episode with my friend Lily Broadbeck and her journals, her gratitude journals, and starting with a grateful heart. And that's how we find joy. I want you to each week jot down one thing. You can start by week if you can't do daily. One thing that made you grateful to be a mom. It could be a deep conversation, maybe a quick hug, or even a funny eye roll, or maybe a sarcastic comment that you both laughed about. Collect those moments like treasures, because you know what? They are. In the moments of raising your teen, in the heart of raising your teen, these quirky, funny moments matter, because those are the ones that are going to keep you going, right? They're like glimpses of what it's going to look like when the season is over. And number 5, take a solo retreat or reflection day. Oh, this one's my favorite. Once a year, I take 24 hours away. I call it my 24 hours away with God, where I am in solitude. I even turn my phone off. I have a journal, my Bible, and my pen. And I rent a room, usually at a nice place, but we live in Southern California, so it's usually by the beach, so that I can go out and walk in nature, have the beach calling me, sitting and reflecting. I have my journal close by where I can write my thoughts. It could be something, it doesn't have to be a full-on 24-hour retreat, but I've always found it to be fueling and claritative. And gosh, I come back with so much clarity and joy and just feeling a lot more lighter and ready to go. But for you, it could be a few hours at a coffee shop, or maybe a hike at your favorite trail. Maybe it's like me in an overnight stay where it's somewhere quiet and peaceful. But I want you to do something and gift yourself this space that's only for you to reflect and just be. You know, I had a problem with what being meant. It really took me until, several years ago to really understand the difference between being and doing, because I couldn't quite understand what being meant. I was always a doer. I'm an Enneagram 3, so that's the nature in me. But being really is allowing yourself to sit in the moment and just be still and take what you have in the moment. Being is allowing yourself space for opportunities to listen, right? And to observe and absorb what is around you. It's slowing down, turning off the active brain, and relaxing, really. And this is where you don't need to be the wife, be the chauffeur, not be the fixer of all things, but just be you in this moment. That being a woman still matters, right? So that is why we want to take a solo retreat or reflection days, because you want to remove yourself from all the busyness of what momhood can bring and remind yourself of who you are and whose you belong to. And sometimes, with that journal, you write down the things that gives you joy, the things that you've always wanted to try, and maybe reflect back on those days where, hey, I have some time. What are some things that I want to do for myself to implement some of that self-care for yourself? So Mama, here are some simple ideas that you can do to celebrate being a mom, but most importantly, momhood is not a task list. It's a calling. And while it might feel ordinary on the outside, or everybody you know is a mom, it's really sacred on the inside. It's a special role. You were called to be this role for a reason. There's nothing by accident. So today, I want you to take a deep breath and remember, you are the heartbeat of your home. You are the whisper of wisdom in your daughter's ears. You are the reflection of love she will one day become. You are doing beautiful and holy work. I want you to celebrate it. I want you to soak it in. I don't want you to think of Mother's Day as just another Sunday, but really a day specifically designated for you. And never forget how deeply needed you are in your family. Now, Mama, if this episode has lifted your heart and encouraged you, I want you to take a moment to share this with another mom who needs that reminder too. Will you do that? Well, until next time, I want you, Mama, to keep showing up in grace. You are seen and you are loved and you are doing an incredible job. Happy Mother's Day to you. May this day bless you and your family shower you with so much love. And I'll see you next time. Hey friend, if this podcast inspired you or encouraged you or helped you in any way, I'd love for you to share it. You can screenshot this episode and share it in your stories on social media or text it to a friend who can use the support. It's the best way you can thank me. I want to let other mamas know they are not alone. I'd love to stay connected with you. You can find me at raisingherconfidently.com. Until next time, live full of grace, Jeannie.